They put all this stock now into the defensive line, and now they're looking at the secondary, which they know is a big-time weakness of this football team. This team is miles and miles and miles away from being teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions, the San Francisco 49ers, the Green Bay Packers in the NFC. And a lot of people out there seem to believe that, this defensive line is just going to come out and dominate based on the way our secondary is right now. And you can say what you want about Dane Belton and Jason Pinnock. Say what you want. They're inexperienced players. They really haven't proven themselves. Pinnock's had some good games. Dane Belton really hasn't proved anything. You lost to Dory Jackson. Darnay Holmes hasn't exactly been a cornerback that you can write home about for the majority of his career. You can have the greatest defensive line in the world, man, but if you don't have the secondary pieces to actually hold these wide receivers in check long enough for your defensive line to get to that quarterback, those quarterbacks are going to eat your defense alive. I don't care how much talent you have on that line. Like, quarterbacks are not going to have to sit back there in that pocket for 5 to 6 seconds at a time when they could just kill this team with little short 5 to 10 yard passes. They could dink and dunk their way down the field. And then once you make adjustments to stop the short stuff, what happens? You get beat deep because you don't have the personnel on the field to stop this stuff. This ain't rocket science, man. Because they're going to have legit mismatches at these corner spots when they're not throwing the ball at a guy like Deonte Banks. There's no doubt in my mind about it. Just think back to that Packers game, after the boat trip. What did the Green Bay Packers do to us when Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie got hurt in the slot? They peppered the slot the rest of that game. As soon as DRC went down, that's all they did. They peppered the slot, just ate us up all the way down the field. Aaron Rodgers just tore us up. They're going to find that mismatch, and that defensive line ain't going to be able to do anything about it. And we're not even going to get into the rushing defense, this 29th ranked rushing defense from last year. We now have 2 defensive ends that are basically carbon copies of what Osi Umenyiora used to be in the run game. Osi Umenyiora couldn't play the run to save his life. And Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeaux are basically the same players. They're good pass rushers, but they struggle mightily against the run. That's just another issue we're going to have to tackle.